Thousands of people embark on the journey of Arbaeen, 40th of Ashura, from Najaf to Karbala, which is approximately 3 days. In this documentary, we'll be taking the journey with British Muslims. We'll be focused on the British-born professionals Suhail Kanji, Farhana Manikia, and Abbas Ramji.
We again stand up and make this journey in order to ensure that we would be there for him.
We would like to investigate why they are keen on making the journey to Karbala by foot and what it means to them.
No one gets hurt, but I can't believe just how many people just keep coming from every direction. You know, it's a lesson to all of us that your life is so short, but your legacy is so much longer. And you know, those people that have oppressed Muslims in the past, they won't be remembered like this. You know, this is one person out of how many million people in history. I mean, look at the legacy that he has left. How can you deny that this is not a great man? You know, all these millions of people cannot be wrong for coming all this way from all the different places in the world. You know, people have been, as you walk around, you know, people have been sleeping on the streets, do anything to get here. And alhamdulillah, you know, their ziyarah will be cool.
Suhail Kanji lives in North London and works in the financial sector.
Imam Ali's personality, I think he is a leader among leaders. And his generosity, you hear so many stories of his charitable work and how he lived his life in such a simple way, yet was such a great man. And that humbleness and that lack of arrogance, I think, is a lesson for all of us in our daily lives.
Farhana Manikia lives in South London and works as a pharmacist. She's also a mother of 2 young children.
The reason we want to go to Imam Hussain, he's the grandson of the Holy Prophet. He led a very important part in history whereby his sacrifice that he made saved our religion. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the religion we have today. I wouldn't be the individual I am.
Imam Hussain عليه is highly regarded by Muslims because he refused to pledge allegiance to Yazid, the Umayyad Caliph.
He's somebody that we give thanks to because if he hadn't done what he did in Karbala all those years ago, the religion would have been taken over by people who would have ruined it. It wouldn't be as we know it today. So we have a lot to be grateful to Imam Hussain alayhi salam, and that's why we love him so much, to show our appreciation. It's not a fanatical kind of love, it's not something that's blown out of proportion. It's something that is our basic roots, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be where we are today.
The journey between Najaf and Karbala is about 80 kilometers. The difficulty is not the walking alone. However, the rough sleep, the severe weather change, and eating whatever is served on the streets.
Be getting ready, packing up, getting a quick bite to eat, and then inshallah we'll be starting to make the journey towards Karbala. And I think you know, with each step, I feel like God and Imam Hussain is really calling us to be with him. Inshallah, you know, we'll make the trip and without any difficulties.
The pilgrims will start their journey in the morning, as they'll be walking in memory of Imam Hussain alayhi salam and the 72 companions who were martyred on the plains of Karbala in year 61 AH by Yazid's army.
We're just starting to walk from Najaf to Karbala. It's 10 miles to the first pole and then 1,400 from there. I think today we are hoping to achieve about 20 kilometers. And Inshallah, we should reach there in 6 hours.
Also undertaking the journey is Dr. Abbas Ramji, who lives in Birmingham and is a psychiatrist.
So we began our walk by visiting the shrine of Imam Ali, the father of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, asking for permission in order to embark upon this very holy and sacred journey.
As the shrine of Imam Ali alayhi salam, the father of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, is in the city of Najaf, many millions of visitors walk to Karbala from Najaf as a sign of respect to the first Imam and for the journey to start and end and focus on the fourth pillar of Islam.
In preparation for the journey, we've been working as a family, so we've been able to prepare for the journey both physically and spiritually by talking about the various aspects of this journey together, preparing the various things we may need along the way.
The tragic event which took place in Karbala reminds the faithful of the core message behind Imam Hussein alayhi salam martyrdom, establishing justice and fighting injustice, no matter what its carnation.
Imam Hussein alayhi salam doesn't just represent religion, because even as an individual, he wasn't just about Islam. He was a human being to other human beings around him. He was compassionate, he was considerate, he was caring. He showed people personality, parts of his personality that we would be ashamed of today because we don't have those. The way he cared for people, no matter what religion they were, no matter what age they were, what creed they were, what background they were. He has given a lot of people examples to learn from.
Gandhi, Charles Dickens and Nelson Mandela are three of many religious, political and famous figures that have been influenced by the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Nelson Mandela once stated, "I have spent more than 20 years in prison. Then, on one night, I decided to surrender by signing all the terms and conditions of government. But suddenly, I thought about Imam Hussein and Karbala movement, and Imam Hussein gave me strength to stand for right of freedom and liberation, and I did."
It was very interesting for me to see the amount of non-Muslims that know about Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But then on the other hand, you get the perspective where people have learned from Imam Hussein alayhi salam, but they don't know they have. They've learned from Gandhi, they've learned from Charles Dickens, but they don't know that those personalities learnt from our holy personality. So it's like a link, but they just don't know where the origination is of what they have learned.
Farhana felt very spiritual and secure in her belief as she is aware of the message and sacrifice Imam Hussein alayhi salam delivered for humanity.
It just made me feel so much more secure in my religion, knowing that I am following somebody that other people are following, but they don't know they're following him. Whereas I'm following him knowingly. I'm trying to learn from his examples. I want to behave the way he does to other people of other religions, of other creeds, of other ages, so that I can try and be the Muslim that he would want, that were his lovers, that were his followers. And hopefully that will be the followers of Imam Mahdi Sahib al-Zaman, his descendants, so that one day we can be his supporters too.
We caught up with many other pilgrims from different parts of the world, all with one common goal.
I'm originally from America, but these days I'm living in Najaf al-Ashraf, pursuing religious studies. And alhamdulillah, I am with one of these ziyarat groups, primarily from London, and we are bringing religious pilgrims to the holy city of Karbala to commemorate Arbaeen, which is the 40th day after the martyrdom of al-Hussein ibn Ali, who gave his life to stand up for faith and truth and justice, and someone who is respected throughout the world.
Walking to Karbala is a suitable opportunity for individuals to develop themselves, as many tend to reflect on how they can follow in the footsteps of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and learn from his noble sacrifice.
My name is Zainab Al-Kubra Ali. I am from Kuwait. I come from Najaf for go to Karbala, and I feel amazing that million people walk and we can sleep and eat everything here. And I want to tell people to come to Mashaya to see million people to walk.
There's a couple different things. It is a gesture of sincerity to make a religious pilgrimage by walking, especially walking for several days, just to show humility and respect. I mean, it's not something that's a religious requirement, but it's something someone might do just to demonstrate that sense of sincerity and dedication.
Hazrat Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari, the companion of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was the first person who started the pilgrimage to the holy shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam to commemorate Imam Hussein alayhi salam's message. The 40th of Ashura has been observed for many years, and Muslims homage to the holy shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam from all parts of the world.
In Iraq nowadays, of course, it has a secondary meaning since during the time of Saddam, people were not allowed to do this, so they would be arrested or even killed for doing it. So it's also a stand for freedom and against tyranny, and a stand for being able to practice religious values that are important to the people. And those are also values that Imam Hussein stood for, freedom, dignity, justice, self-determination, and so forth. So it has, I think, a double meaning for a lot of people in this day and age.
This is symbolic for Shias across the world to join in together in the struggle for freedom, the struggle for standing up for what's right in this world, and standing up against the tyranny, just like Imam Hussein did. So I think when the Iraqi people started doing it, and then obviously more and more people have joined, to show that solidarity.
So we hope by making this journey while Zahra is still young, but at an age where she's able to understand the significance of the journey, that she's able to understand, learn from it, and take some memories forward that she will keep for the rest of her life.
I think there are a lot of things that she sees that she's not used to. For example, somebody just came and put some mud on her face and she asked me what that meant. The type of food, sleeping in the tent on the mattresses is things that children in the UK are not used to. But I think that's teaching us that we have to sacrifice. It's showing us the importance of this trip. And I think she's learned a lot and she's enjoying the trip so far.
I am very tired, but I want to make the journey to go to Imam Hussein.
I think it's very difficult to explain in words. It's something that you really have to feel. You have to be here, you have to feel those emotions when you first go to the Haram of Imam Ali alayhi salam, when you first begin the walk, and when you take that first step towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam. You're not just physically taking that step, but you're saying, I'm taking that step to get closer to you at the same time.
This walk is not only about sacrificing one's luxuries, yet many pilgrims walk from Najaf to Karbala to implement Imam Hussein's message in their day-to-day life, and to replicate his ideals in supporting fellow humans and respecting humanity regardless of their faith, race, age, and gender.
And you're saying that actually, if I was there on the day of Karbala, I would have been there on your side. But in the same way, you have to relay that to the Imam of our time, and we say that actually, we're saying not just Labbaik Ya Hussein, but we're saying Labbaik Ya Mahdi, because he's the Imam of our time, and inshallah, we'll be there.
Remembering the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and commemorating his revolution from Ashura up to Arbaeen allows Muslims to prepare themselves spiritually and mentally for the awaited Saviour, Ajalallah Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif.
By making the journey by foot, it is a way of saying that we are there for Imam Hussein, and we would have been there on the day of Ashura. He stood up for humanity and justice, and because of that, we again stand up and make this journey in order to ensure that we would be there for him on this epic journey that we are embarking upon.
About a week before the day of Arbaeen, the road to Karbala from Najaf is closed up to prepare for the vast amount of pilgrims that will walk to Karbala.
When you're here, I think you get a chance to express that other side of you that maybe you can't show as much in Britain, and like the brotherhood that's here and the closeness you feel with everyone, even if you don't speak the same language. There's a certain connection between everyone that's making this journey together, and it is very much a peaceful journey. It's not something to be afraid of. It's nothing to be intimidated by. It's just Muslims showing that coming together what they can achieve. There's no infrastructure here. The city is very underdeveloped and has gone through so many hardships, but yeah, everybody managed to make this journey safely without any incidents, despite all the difficulties they've been through, and they're so hospitable.
But at the same time, I guess it's worth adding that Islam for us is not something that we just practice when we're in a Islamic country. It's a way of life for us. It's experiences like this that really make us who we are, and it forms our beliefs, and it shapes our life and our way of life as well.
According to Imam Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam, it is highly desirable on the 40th of Ashura to be in Karbala for ziyarat of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and other martyrs. And if it's not possible, then recite ziyarat Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
My daughter Zahra has been really excited and looking forward to this journey for a long time. We've been talking about it for several months. So she's spoken about it with her friends. She's been reading about it and doing her own research as well. She's prepared the flag that she's carrying with her aunt, which she has decided to walk with for the entire journey from Najaf to Karbala. In preparation and in aid of the many millions of people that are in more need of education, shelter, Zahra began by raising money for her chosen charity in order to make this walk something special and something to remember. The community in Birmingham, where we are from, rallied together in order to sponsor Zahra, and she has raised a significant amount of money in order to fund the charity of her choice.
Over here, everyone seems to be on a common goal. Everyone's singing of the same hymn sheet, We're all Zuwar of Imam Hussein. We're all on this one journey, and we will do whatever we can to assist the next person. And I think, we've all realized that if we all work towards a common goal, we become a much greater body, a much greater, humanity. We really see the humanity of people coming out here.
Despite the fact that some people have walked very far, some people maybe as much as 20 days to come to Karbala from their cities, such as Basra is very far, and it's extremely cold. I would say it's freezing at night, and a lot of people don't have the sort of clothing to really cope with that. Nonetheless, I would say people seem enthusiastic, patient, tolerant, again, kind and considerate towards each other. And I think this does go back, like you were saying, to a spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, and also just, maybe it being a shared human experience and concern for humanity.
The pilgrims who have come to Iraq from diverse cultures and sects, all with one common goal, are walking to the holy shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam together, side by side, which represents the aim of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, unity regardless of belief.
Hold my hand. Regardless of which country we're from, regardless of the backgrounds that we have, our work environments, we are all equal in terms of the walk that we are making from Najaf to Karbala. And we are walking as one in humble and simple clothing in order to show to Imam Hussein that we are coming towards him and to demonstrate our love for the Ahlul Bayt. It is a unique walk that is not seen anywhere else in the world, and it is truly a sign of unity and a symbol that Muslims can unite for one single purpose, which is to stand for humanity and justice that Imam Hussein showed in his battle on Ashura.
The association of the city with Shia religious traditions, Karbala, led to it being treated with suspicion by Iraq's tyrant ruler, Saddam. During Saddam's regime in Iraq, Shia religious observance in the city were greatly restricted, and many non-Iraqi Shia were not permitted to travel to Karbala at all. For nearly 30 years under Saddam's regime, it was forbidden to mark Ashura and Arbaeen publicly in Iraq.
I think there has been obviously a lot of difficulties in this particular place and in this land, and I think the more that the Shias are told not to do this, not to come here, or the more that the danger is there, the more they'll come. And I think that's our way of standing up in a peaceful way for what we believe is right, and that shows that we won't be scared. If we believe in a cause, we believe in our religion, and there's nothing that will stop us making this trip.
This walk of significant importance has been of historical significance for a number of years. However, it has only been revived in the last few years because of the oppression and the fear of persecution of the Shia from the previous regime. It is amazing how the people of Iraq and the Shias from across the world have got back together and begun on this journey yet again after a number of years, a number of decades of oppression from the previous regime of Saddam Hussein.
When people have asked me at work why I'm going to do this pilgrimage, why I'm taking the children and not leaving them behind, I've always said to them that it's a part of me, it's a part of who I am, who I was brought up with. It's a holy personality that we learnt about every year, that we grew to love every year. The purpose of this trip is for them to learn as well what I grew up learning. Unfortunately, as a child, I never came to Iraq. I never did the journey to Karbala. And mashallah, from last year, Ali's love for Imam Hussein has grown. His eagerness to come to Karbala has just been that much more heightened because of his memories from last year. He is more eager to be here this year because he knows where he's going. He remembers the haram from last year, don't you, Ali? Yeah, he wants to go and kiss the zari. He wants to go and pray his du'as, don't you? He wants to pray for everybody and himself, and he knows what he's here to do. He's here to pray via Imam Hussein to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to pray for us and for people around us. Many people have asked him to pray for him, and Saliha was at my mum's for the week before we flew out, and many people saw her and said to her, when you get to Imam Hussein alayhi salam zari, please make sure you pray for us. And she's been given lots of messages by many people to pray for them. And inshallah, when we get to the zari, I'll remind her that pray for everybody that asked you to pray for them, and she knows I have to go there and pray for everybody. So it's quite nice that they get to build that love as well. The walk in itself has become very popular over the last couple of years, with more and more people wanting to do the walk every year. When people have asked me for advice, I always remind them that the purpose to this walk is to get to Karbala. It's the hype of the trip should not be the walk from Najaf to Karbala. The purpose of the trip is to get to Karbala. The journey from Najaf to Karbala is what prepares you spiritually and emotionally for how you are going to feel when you get to Karbala. Some people can feel that directly by going straight to Karbala. Some people want to increase that love, increase that spirituality. If they go straight to Karbala, they will have it. But by walking, by soaking in the atmosphere, by being with other people who have the same purpose, the same destination, you just feel everything is that much more enhanced, a bit more enlightened. As you're walking, you've got more time to think.
Many Muslims believe that Karbala is one of the holiest places on earth. Karbala is the center of the proceedings, where in a show of humility many walk, crawl through the streets to reach the city.
As I'm walking, I'm not thinking about what I'm doing, I'm thinking about where I'm going. I'm preparing my mind for what I'm about to go and do. I'm about to go and visit the grandson of the Holy Prophet and pay my respects to what happened to him all those years ago, to acknowledge that the religion is here today because of his sacrifice, of the sacrifice he made, that his family made, that the children made, the wives made, his brothers, his friends. The whole battle of Karbala is something to be commemorated every year, and by walking to Karbala, it gives me a chance to just enhance my feelings and just to make them that bit more cemented, that when I get to Karbala, I'm not just there because it's an opportunity and that I can be there. It's because I want to be there, that I've prepared for it mentally, spiritually, and that I'm there for the right purpose.
After hours of walking, the pilgrims come to a rest. However, sleeping arrangements are also challenging as there are limited and very basic tents on the ground. No hotels are available on the way. Pilgrims manage to catch a few hours of sleep before waking up to the smell of breakfast served in the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salam by the local people. From early morning, the local people who make as much breakfast as they possibly can in the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salam serve the pilgrims. The pilgrims have a quick bite to eat before continuing their journey to Karbala.
So we've been walking since yesterday, Thursday, the 19th of December 2013. Roughly done about 50 kilometers so far. The experiences have been heartwarming up until now, with the generosity that's been shown by the people that have lined the streets as the zawar, the people that visit the shrine of Imam Hussein have walked past. The kindness is unimaginable.
The local people standing in the cold and serving the pilgrims is part of the Arabian culture, at the same time a spiritual element.
We've seen various acts of kindness throughout our journey, which has really touched the heart, whether that be people offering massages and foot spas to offering tea and full meals. There's been a huge host of different types of experiences that have been offered by the people that have lined the streets in order to facilitate and make the journey from Najaf to Karbala as easy as possible for those that embark upon this journey.
Obviously everyone coming, at our rest point last night, came feeling very tired after walking a long way. We covered almost 25 kilometers in the first day. People's legs were hurting. We'd had little sleep the night before.
Yesterday we walked until about pole number 218 and our group camped in one of the mokibs, one of the resting places. Again, donated entirely for free, without any expectation from the owners of the place for any contributions at all, purely for the love of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
Everyone was very happy to get down to a place to rest, even though it was still very cold at night. We had limited supply of blankets and stuff, and the trusts and these very kind, gentlemen on the streets who provide these blankets, provide everything they can, and whatever little they gave was very, very much appreciated.
This was a great opportunity last night to get to know and meet many of the other people within our group and other people, as it was an open door.
Even though the pilgrims were very tired and keen to sleep and rest during the night, the British Muslims witnessed the local people serving in the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, which lifted their spirit and energized them.
This morning after Fajr, the spirit seems to be very high again. Everyone is very motivated and prepared to continue that journey to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Everyone is walking in one direction. The pace is going fairly quickly. People are covering 3, 4, 5 kilometers an hour. It's truly amazing just to see everyone walking this way.
Arbaeen is consistently among the largest peaceful gatherings in history. The journey is not only limited to the experience shared in Iraq. For most people, it is the time to reflect on their life and how they can improve themselves back home.
Islam is a way of life for us, so everything that we learn from here and how we're going to become a better Muslim will inshallah affect us in our day-to-day lives, because Islam is so integrated into everything that we do.
I think there is a big misconception that the practice of Islam is something to be done either in private, or it's something that you can only do in a Muslim country. But being British Muslims, I don't see how coming here and showing your allegiance to our imams or showing your allegiance to a religion should stop you achieving that back home. And it just should strengthen your fervour to be able to just be a good human being. I think that's the message, and to find happiness and peace within yourself, and not reach for those things that are not meant for you.
In Britain, many people tend to carry bags and equipment just in case they may need to use them. However, in Iraq, while pilgrims make their way to Karbala, they do not carry material objects.
You know, a lot of people are travelling without even, a rucksack on their back and just going in the clothes they have, but not worrying about it. And I think back home, we travel just to work, and you worry, do you have this with you? Do you have that with you? But here, just everyone just goes, and not concerned about any of the material things of this world.
And I guess just being content with life is probably important.
Yeah, I think that is probably one of the biggest lessons, is just learning how to be content with what you have, and just being happy that you have your health, you have your family, and that should be enough for you.
There is obviously conflict and stuff from certain factions, the Takfiris, etc., who've come in, have created rift within the Muslims. Iraq, before the last war, was quite diverse. There wasn't a problem with Shias and Sunnis. Often they would intermarry.
Since 2003 till today, Iraq is the key location for terrorism, as terrorists continue to commit suicide, put bombs in cars in order to kill as many people as they possibly can. The Western governments have tried to implement divide and rule in Iraq. Yes, some cities have been affected. However, during Arbaeen, Sunnis, Christians and Yazidis support the pilgrims, and the visitors continue to go to Iraq, regardless of the poor security, and the so-called sectarian divide the British media speaks of.
This rift has come in through external factors coming into Iraq, but the Iraqi people, still have their values. They've lived together. This has been a great civilization for many, many years, and the world can learn from the generosity of these people. Yes, countries are generous in donating millions, but that's a penny in the scheme of things. Whereas these guys give everything, from their homes to their food, to their clothing, blankets, everything to serve the Zuwar of Imam Hussein.
I think that probably the most striking thing about the walk is the human experience. I would say the generosity that people have, the kindness. You see some people who come from backgrounds so they really don't have much of anything, but they give whatever they have. They themselves walk here, sometimes from the villages, to serve, and they enjoy it. They consider it an honor. And also just to be side by side with so many people from all different walks of life. I think it's truly a very beautiful thing, especially given all of the difficulties Iraq has faced over the past few decades. And inshallah, it's a bright spot in the future of Iraq, and the spirit of generosity and hospitality is the sort of thing that will keep the country going forward.
So we've decided to come to Karbala and make the journey by foot from Najaf to Karbala for a number of reasons. We felt this was the perfect opportunity, with the Christmas holidays in the UK, being able to facilitate the journey with Zahra and the rest of the family. It has been a long road so far, and we are over halfway there now. It has been tiring, and there have been various points where we've had, as a family, to support each other in order to make sure that we get through this. So, as a family, we've been setting ourselves targets to ensure that we get to a certain number before we take rest each time. And I think that has enabled us to take strength from one another. But purely the atmosphere that we have experienced while being on this walk has been amazing. Regardless of background, social class, ethnicity, or from where people have come from, we are all walking towards one single destination. We are making this journey in order to feel the pain that was felt by Imam Hussein. We're able to walk and feel the pain that was felt by Bibi Zainab, the sister of Imam Hussein, as we make this journey towards Karbala.
First of all, looking at their dress code, you'll see that everyone isn't a rich person here. You know, the clothes are very simple. It is very, very cold here. We were in minus temperatures last night, and obviously people are wrapping up as much as they can with whatever little they have. Generally, people are wearing black clothes, yeah, because we are mourning, and black is a sign of mourning. The true generosity, the true kindness of the human really comes out on this journey. And you'll see that it's not just the people on the tents, yeah, or on these small stalls serving. If someone is hurt, there'll be lots of people there willing to stop, willing to help, willing to carry whatever they can do to help all the people of, especially the Zawar of Imam Hussein.
The acts of kindness that are given by the people that line the streets are truly heartwarming. Whether it is people offering meals, or even if people have no means, then they're offering even minor things like tissues or even a glass of water, purely to show the love of Imam Hussein and the Ahlul Bayt.
Christians in Iraq also participate in the walk to Karbala, as they believe our Imam is like Prophet Jesus, as they both represent the message of humanity, dignity and liberty.
صار لنا 3 أيام مشاية جايين طريق كربلاء وإن شاء الله نستمر بالمشي كربلاء. إحنا كل سنة على المشي لكربلاء إن شاء الله.
Behind us, these men are serving hot milk to the Zawar, hot sweet milk to energize everyone walking on their journey. All of these people give from their own pockets and serve from early morning, standing in the freezing cold, just to help the Zawar. They probably will also make their way to Karbala at some stage as well, but while people are walking, they will do all they can to help the Zawar of Imam Hussein.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نعزي صاحب العصر والزمان في هذا المصاب الجلل، واحنا خدام لزوار الحسين، وما يهمنا لا ارهاب ولا يهمنا اي شيء يجينا من الغرب.
Some of these people, you know, they have very little to lose, therefore they have everything to give, you know, and they all are of the same mentality that this is for Imam Hussein, this is for building their palaces in Jannah.
بهذا المصاب الجلل ونعزي سيدي ومولاي الحسين، ونقوم بهذا الواجب لطريق زوار الحسين عليه السلام، أفضل الصلاة والسلام عليه. هاي ثبتنا الموكب الحسيني للزوار الحسين اللي تمشي إلى اتجاه الحسين، وبإثبات عميق وجد وإخلاص لراية الحسين، تثبيت ولاية أمير المؤمنين عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام. فقمنا بهذا الموكب والشاي والماء والزاد والأكل وكل شيء اللي يريده الزاير بكل شيء من الأحوال الليل والنهار، ونعمل بكل حالة إحنا وأطفالنا وعوائلنا كلنا نعمل من أجل راية الحسين وتثبيت الدين.
Apart from the local people serving the pilgrims, organized charities play a huge role in supporting the visitors of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. One such charity is the World Federation of Khoja Itna Muslim Community.
The lovers of Hussein will always be the lovers of Hussein. From the West, we are very lucky to be here. It's a unique opportunity to go to the ziyarat of the A'imma in Iraq. It's a way that we can show our allegiance to Imam Hussein and the A'imma, that even though we live so far away, we will always come to you and try to serve you in any way, inshallah.
People volunteer and support organizations to feel spiritual in serving and helping others, in addition to meeting new people.
This is my first Arbaeen here, and I saw this wonderful camp. I was told about it, so I came and joined this time. And it's been a wonderful experience. This is my 3rd day in here, and these people have been working here for more than like 7 days. So hats off to them. They've been working since 5 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock at night. They go to sleep for 4 or 5 hours, and they go back, start back again for breakfast. they start serving all the zawars coming around all the way from here to Karbala.
Me and my wife stayed there for 2 nights and 3 days to serve the zawars and members of our community. The experience that I got into the camp, when I started seeing the patients, and then I saw that we had a huge line of people wanting their feet to be massaged, their legs to be massaged, and I started doing this. And when I started with a few zawars, it completely deflated my ego. Who am I? Here I am, holding the dusty, the tired leg of a zawar who is walking from Najaf to Karbala. And I felt absolutely on the ground, and I felt that I was ready to do anything to answer the call of Imam Hussein, to help the needy, to help the people who are suffering, and to fight against oppression and all sorts of injustice.
People from all walks of life and around the world are involved in providing these services for the visitors of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
I'm not actually a Shia. I'm born in a Sunni household, Hanafi faith, and I've grown with most of the majority Shia when I was since 8 years old. And I like Imam Hussein and all they believe, most of them, they're all good, and I have faith in these things also.
Traditionally speaking, the Arabs are famous for their hospitality. I mean, even if we go back to the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and it's a traditional nature of the Arabs to be very hospitable to their guests. They would give whatever they can and have and afford to make their guest, to ensure that he or she has the best stay. So that is kind of in their nature. I think what's happening in this walk is those people who were not very familiar with that kind of hospitality, or they may not, of course, have experienced at such a volume. You go to some Arab man's house and you feel the hospitality there, but here you're seeing it not just from one house, but rather from the whole nation almost. So I think what we see here is a reflection of the Arab hospitality, that's one. A second is people's true love to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Remember now, Imam Hussein alayhi salam has been in this land for 1400 years. Buried in this land for about 1400 years. So people traditionally over the centuries have served the Zawar of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam when they had the chance, when they were not under some tyrannic regime that kind of was oppressive.
The Western media tends to use irresponsible reporting and dangerous and provocative literature about Muslims in order to divide and rule.
Lot of negative thing going around, so they really don't know the real essence about the sacrifice his Imam Hussein and his family gave so many years ago to protect the religion of Islam. When I see ground level talking to people, I don't see so much aggression towards each other. But when we see talk shows and TVs and all that, they represent a different picture. So I think stripping all this propaganda and all the negative thing, we are basically like two branches from the same tree.
Many people from different cultures, backgrounds and faiths attend the Arbaeen walk. Every year, visitors going to the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam are increasing vastly.
As a family, we've been walking more or less since 12:30. We've had a few breaks since then, mainly for salah, for toilet breaks, for rest breaks, for a little bit of tea, for the hospitality that's along the way. It's been an absolutely amazing journey. But for some reason, it's been a very tiring one for me this year compared to last year. Maybe it's the mental focus, maybe it's the atmosphere. There's a lot more people on the road this year than there were last year because we are walking later in the Arbaeen period than we did last year. But the atmosphere has been electric. It's been absolutely amazing. The amount of people that are there, the amount of people that talk to you, the things you see as you walk along the way. It's been an amazing day so far. Along the walk from Najaf to Karbala, there are many people walking of all backgrounds, not just people from Iraq, people from around the world. There are people here from everywhere, and everyone's interested in learning about each other. And it's a very peaceful walk. a very friendly walk. People help each other along the way. These are all personalities and traits of Muslims, of true Muslims who love Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who love Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and who learn from their examples.
Muharram is a month in which justice was raised against the injustice, and it has proved that as far as the history is concerned, justice has always been the conqueror. Unfortunately today, Muslims are not represented as just people, as the media speaks of Muslims as oppressors and fighters.
The image in the world today of Muslims is not the true image of a Muslim, not the true image of a practicing Muslim. The image that is given in the world today is of Muslims that are struggling, Muslims that are oppressing, Muslims that are causing trouble, Muslims that are fighting. It's all the opposites of what a Muslim really is. And being in Karbala in the next few days and seeing the people and the cohesion between all the different backgrounds is amazing to see that this is what true Islam is.
The media tends to focus on a small minority who claim to be Muslim, yet are opposing the message of the Holy Quran and the teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him.
Islam has been given a very bad name by a few minority people, and unfortunately the majority are not looked at in their behavior, and everyone is tarnished. It's something that I hold very personal. It really, really bothers me that it is seen in that way. When other people misbehave, it's to do with their country, it's not to do with their religion. Whereas if people in certain countries in the world misbehave, they're called Islamic fundamentalists. They're linked directly to Islam because that's the name of the religion that they follow. But they don't follow it because Islam is a peaceful religion. Islam does not allow you to oppress people. Islam does not allow you to fight against people if it is not necessary, if you're not defending yourself. There are so many guidelines in religion and it all promotes peace. Whereas the Muslims we see in the news, they don't show peace. Muslims here, I see peace. And this is the true Islam. And this is something that many people need to see. And this is what I enjoy telling people at work. They tell me, why are you going to Iraq? Why are you taking your children? Do you know there's been a bomb blast? Just before I flew, they were like, Farhan, I don't think you should go. There's been some blasts. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know about them because I hadn't checked. And I said, well, when I was there last year, there was some bomb blasts, but I didn't even know that it happened. I found out afterwards, when I came back, that while I was there were bomb blasts. And it's a shame that people are picking on the peaceful people and murdering and killing them with suicide bombers and other sorts of explosives, when everyone here is here for a peaceful purpose. They're here on a peaceful mission to go and pay their respects to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That's what Islam is about. We're a peaceful religion.
The second day has come to an end. The Zawar are looking forward to the morning, as within a few hours they'll be reaching their destination. They'll be in the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
During the last few days, we've had to live pretty simply, sleeping when we can, how we can, and with basic necessities. And I think it teaches you, and obviously everyone here, just you don't need much to survive, and just to living a simple life. There's a lot of happiness in doing so. And it also shows you that you're a lot stronger than you realise. Because I think back home, you feel like you have to have all these luxuries, whereas you really can cope without. And I think it shows you that everyone has an inner strength within them.
One of the things that has really attracted our attention, and something that's been particularly of educational experience for my daughter Zara, is the fact that some of the events of Karbala are reenacted by people as we walked along the street from Najaf to Karbala, and that has been a way of physically demonstrating some of the historical aspects of the journey, of the events of Karbala, and that's been an educational experience for us all.
The companions of the Holy Imam alayhi salam were not only his family members and not only Muslim, yet many of his companions were from diverse faiths and races. This key point shows that the event which took place in Karbala 1,400 years ago is not only a historical event for Muslims to remember, but for all of humanity.
One of the things that has really been of significance is that you try to communicate regardless of the language barrier with the other people that you're walking with. And I've met people from a huge number of different countries, whether that's from European countries, from the US and Australia, whether that's from some of the Eastern countries, including Asia and the Middle East. And one of the things that is remarkable and that really stands out is that this one act of remembrance of Imam Hussein brings us all united and together. And the hospitality of the Iraqis, of the Iraqi people, is something really to be admired. They go out of their way, particularly if they realize that you're a traveler from a significant distance, to ensure that this journey is made as easy as possible. So they would offer you meals, they'd invite you into their homes, and that has been that has really been very heartwarming for us all.
Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi, his revolution is indeed political and religious. So it's a revolution for social justice. Now, all these millions who are walking, they're also basically resonating or echoing the voice of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam when he says, we refuse to live in humiliation. So, hayhat minna dhillah. And hence, people are walking again and they're calling, we're here for you, Ya Imam Hussein, we're responding to your call.
The month of Muharram is solid proof of defeat of the superpowers before the word of righteousness. Imam Hussein alayhi salam has taught not only the Islamic nation, but many other people from different religious, political and cultural beliefs, the way to campaign against tyrants.
I wouldn't say that this is a particular, a specific political statement for a particular event, but rather this is more of a general political statement that the followers of Imam Hussein alayhi salam refuse to live in humiliation and they refuse to live in oppression. So hear that they have lived under oppression from the regime that was in this country for so many years, but look, Imam Hussein prevailed and the followers prevailed.
To forego our worldly comforts is a sign of respect in commemorating the story or the martyrdom of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein in Karbala for 3 days was hungry, was thirsty, and gave everything he could for Islam.
Many of the pilgrims aim to live a simple and basic few days while embarking on their journey to Karbala.
For us to forego some of the luxuries that we're used to as a sign of respect to Imam Hussein, to go by foot, many of us not used to walking such long distances, is, I think, an honor for Imam Hussein. That we are doing this, outside of our comfort zone, truly in his honor, and just so that we can visit him.
You can find Shias from all over the world. Almost, I would say, every flag from many continents. You can see them going through the shrine of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, and people are walking raising those flags. In that sense, there is that unity with all those people sharing that one cause, and each and every one of them giving a helping hand to the other, because they come from a similar background and are all under the same umbrella.
I think that remembering Imam Hussein helps us to instill these values of justice, but also compassion and social responsibility inside ourselves. I think social responsibility, both on a national and also on a global level, is very important for our future as human beings. And so I think by remembering Imam Hussein, then we can learn, inshallah, to be better people and to have a much bigger vision and a sense of a global concern.
And finally, after all the struggle, the moment all pilgrims never forget is the sight of the Golden Dome that houses the resting place of the grandson of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, Imam Hussein عليه السلام.
لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين سيدي أبا عبد الله. These are the final steps towards your shrine.
I think perhaps to split it up into a couple of different ways. The walk itself, physically and emotionally, it was draining. It was a challenge. Being with family as well and supporting family throughout the process has been an enlightening, uplifting experience. But particularly the last 10 kilometers, we really felt the difficulty in terms of physically going through that. Mum, trying to support mum. Having a young one with me as well, and that was particularly physically difficult at the time, the last few kilometers. But alhamdulillah, as soon as we saw the sight of the holy shrines in Karbala as we entered, the way we were welcomed by the people of Karbala, there's no words to describe it. People were, saluting, they were welcoming us. They were just so happy to see Zawar from such a far and distant land for them, and that was just difficult to explain how the emotions were at that time.
The Lord of Martyrs عليه السلام created the great movement of Ashura and saved Islam and justice through sacrifice, devoting his blood and the blood of his family and his companions.
It's been an arduous journey, but one that we have no right to complain about. I think the one small lesson of just getting here is just the pain that you feel is just one iota of what those who came before us have felt, and I guess that's one of the small lessons that we learn, and why this trip is made by so many people, just so we can understand just a small part of what Imam Hussein's family and companions went through at the time of Karbala.
The British Muslims feel blessed to be in Karbala, as they have come to visit the grandson of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, the third Imam within the Shia sect, who represents true love and dedication for Islam and humanity.
Alhamdulillah, the journey to Karbala has been an absolutely amazing one. From beginning to almost nearly the end. We still have a few days left. But alhamdulillah, up until now, since our arrival in Karbala, the experience here has been absolutely amazing. The people, the atmosphere, especially when you come to the haram of Ya Aba Abdullah Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the grandson of the Holy Prophet. The people here are absolutely amazing.
The pilgrims go to visit Imam Hussein alayhi salam, not only out of respect for him and thanking him for his sacrifice and message, but to also ask him to intercede with their prayers.
Everyone's here for one purpose, to pay their respects, to say peace be upon him, to go and kiss the Holy Zari, to go and ask for your own desires, to go and ask for your family, for your friends. It's absolutely amazing.
We have come from America, from Canada, from the United Kingdom.
During my trip here, I have gained more spirituality, I feel. It's a chance to touch base, to try and renew what you've always been taught. I feel, inshallah, I've taken one step closer, although there are many thousands of steps I still need to travel. But inshallah, I've proceeded at least one step further towards my Imam.
حسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك